The date is Saturday, February 4th, the year of our Lord 2023. Now, everybody that's an American knows that it is currently Black History Month. Sorry about that. I'm in the car. I'm going to put my seatbelt on so we don't have that the whole time. Yes, other companies are, and they always do, recognize, quote unquote, Black History Month. But they seem to more or less showcase a lot of people that you guys already know. What I believe that the wrestling community, period, fans and performers need to know is the forefathers, man, the fucking pioneers of pro wrestling, especially when it comes to Black history. I broke into the industry in 1988. By 89, I was lucky enough to be in the Memphis territory. And I'll tell you, even in 1989 in the Mid-South, it was a pressure cooker building to what we have today, which is all that crazy violence down there. Point being, things have changed. But at that point, it was a pressure cooker. N-bombs were dropped, and nobody was expected to sell for that in the locker rooms, even out in public, the bottom line. So, I want to honor some of those unsungs and people that if you are a real wrestling fan or if you call yourself a wrestler should really know about. One of the forefathers in pro wrestling for the black performer was one Bobo Brazil. Have you ever heard of Bobo Brazil, Jordan?
I have heard of Bobo Brazil, and Bobo Brazil is one of those pioneers that before there was like a New Day, there was Bobo Brazil. He paved the way for the wrestlers that you're currently watching on WWE. So definitely one that a lot of current wrestling fans need to learn the history of and what he did for the business.
Exactly. And one day, the WWE needs to add Bobo Brazil to the Hall of Fame. He was one of those race breakers, man. He was an amazing draw anywhere he went. And what happened with Bobo Brazil, when Bobo realized that people liked him, that he drew, he didn't set up shop at one company. He would come in and stay for a while, name his price and warrant his price at the gate, and then he would move on. And that's what he did to assume his own independence and never have anybody else be in control of what he was doing, nor his character. Now, a lot of the young guys today, and I'm not going to say the wrestling fans, but I'm going to say these idiots. I like to call these indie guys idiots. They were better off buying tickets and merchandise rather than going out there trying to pretend. They would look at a Bobo Brazil match and think they couldn't learn anything from it. He doesn't do much. Well, what do you expect? You know, Bobo wrestled a long, long time and drew a lot of money worldwide, and particularly where I'm from, and I grew up watching Dick the Bruiser, Bob Loose Wrestling, and Vern Gagne, and I can't tell you how over, quote unquote, Bobo Brazil was. Loved the guy, independent guy. I never got to meet him. And again, he was one of those guys that learned how to take that power and use it to his advantage. He was not hard to do business with. The boys liked wrestling Bobo Brazil. I'm sure you hear his name come up even with things like Jim Cornette and Briscoe and Bradshaw's podcast. And he's somebody that, especially the black performer today in pro wrestling, should know about. All right, this was a ran short. Now it's time to pimp. You'll notice this is going up, without YouTube ads on it. We're trying to build a company here. So we need you to check out our Patreon, Premier Pro Wrestling on Patreon, where you can stream, I think, almost 700 exclusive matches currently, 200 exclusive podcasts hosted by myself and Casey James, who's been everywhere and done everything you possibly could, in his era. And Premier Pro Wrestling on Pro Wrestling Tees. And while you're here, would you be so kind as to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel? We're creeping up on the 50,000 subscribers mark, man, and we need your help. All right, that's it. This is another Ran Short brought to you by, like I said, Premier Pro Wrestling.